So the Dr. Mike PhD incident is a perfect opportunity for me to talk to you about how you engage with social media influencers and how to better engage with them so that you don't get caught in traps like the people caught up in this one. So, first of all, in this situation, there is a lot of cult of personality. It's been well known in the industry that Dr. Mike has a cult of personality around him. There are a lot of people who just, no matter what he says and what he does, will always support him. So, making sure that you are not falling into cults of personality surrounding the YouTubers that you watch is very important. Making sure that you are critically examining what they say and making sure that their information actually applies to you. And so that brings me on to my next point, which is skepticism and experiment. So whenever you see a piece of advice, you shouldn't just take it automatically because some person said it as that it must be the truth, no matter what sort of credentials or experience that person has. You should approach it as say, maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. And so then you incorporate it into your program in a small way or a big way and you test it out. So I did this a long time ago with Dr. Mike's stuff, and I tried out the RP training style with the ramping volume and intensity and then the deload at the end. And I repeated a few cycles of that. And it didn't really get me any gains. So I didn't keep following that path. I didn't keep following that training style just because he's the one who said that it was good. Now, I do think that some of his diet advice is pretty good. I think that taking maintenance periods on a cut in order to teach yourself how to maintain, especially for long-term large weight loss, is a good idea. So it's not that all of his ideas are good because he has this PhD, or now all of them are bad because it turns out that it was low quality. Each idea needs to be evaluated independently. That's the real core of science. And so tying into that, you also need to recognize where each piece of advice is coming from. And so this is a quote that I really like from Friedrich Nietzsche, that every philosophy is the secret confession of its author. So when you look at different pieces of advice, look at who's saying it, not in a deference to authority way or in a insulting people who you don't like sort of a way, but why would someone like this have a belief like this? So when you look at Dr. Mike's training style with the ramping of the volume and intensity and the deloads, you're seeing the training philosophy of someone who is very strong and is on PEDs. So Dr. Mike had a 275 overhead press. So of course he doesn't like the overhead press because it fatigues him so much. Why does he take all these deloads and use the super safe, biomechanically optimal exercises? It's because using the big heavy basics would bury him into the ground with fatigue because he's stronger, he's on PEDs. And so does that apply to you? No, I'm an intermediate natural guy. I'm not very strong. And so I can blast the heavy basics and I won't get overly fatigued from them. It's easy for me to recover from. So his training style isn't necessarily something that I have to follow. So I think for the advice that he does put out, I wanted to do a little pros and cons. And so the training I don't think is that good for most of the people who are going to be watching this, which is beginner and intermediate natties. This is not a training style that you have to follow. It's designed for someone who's advanced, who's much stronger, who's taking PEDs. And so it simply doesn't apply to you. I think his dieting advice, if you are losing a lot of weight, to take maintenance periods in between long breaks to reduce diet fatigue, I think that's a good idea. I think generally he follows normal calorie recommendations. So I think all that is good. I think his critiques of Hollywood and celebrity exercise programs are good. I think the general principle of his understanding of specificity is good. And so it's important to be able to state which of these ideas are good, which of them do apply, which of them don't apply, which of them are bad. And so having that nuance is something that's very important. That's all I had to say on the matter. I hope that helps you.